Wait a minute. I'm doing everything wrong. Hello my loves and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and today we are doing March's TBR. I'm so excited because you know what March means? March means the start of spring. Thank God. I am so over winter. I mean, okay, it's not till the middle of March, but the point is we're getting closer to spring and summer and I could not be happier. And now my cat wants to go out, so give me 2 seconds. I deliberately adjusted my setup so that I wouldn't move her. I start recording and she's like, no, I'm out, I'll see you later. The TBR game, if you don't know what it is the most simple thing ever, really. We have a 6 coloured sided dice. The colour correlates to a little ghost that sits on top of a prompt. I roll a minimum of 5 times. If the same colour comes up twice, then I do an additional roll, but I do cap that at 2 times, so we have between 5 and 7 prompts to fulfill for the month. Before we get into the game, I have my Patreon jar. So if you don't know, I do have a Patreon, it's all linked below, but my top tier are able to choose from my whole physical TBR and put in suggestions of what they think I should be prioritising. And the idea is that every other month I will be choosing a book from here and they will get an exclusive video. I'm really curious to see what's going to be on here because some I'm not as keen to read as others. I do have other books that I want to try and get onto my TBR, such as the Discord book club pick, things like that, but for now we'll just do this bit. And of course my battery's going low as well. I was really not prepared to do this video. It's fine. Let's do the Patreon pick and then before we do the first roll I will adjust the battery. I'm kind of nervous, it's the first time. Okay, give these, I'm thinking, okay, we've got a few. There's 2, let's go this one. Oh, I'm excited and nervous. You'd think because it's from my own TBR that I would be really excited for every single book, and while that is the case with some you have to be in the mood for. What have we got? So if you can read my writing, which honestly you probably can't, the book is It Lasts Forever and Then It's Over, and this one was put in by Heidi. So thank you very much, Heidi. Let me grab the book. Honestly, this is a really good one. It is so short and simple and I am intrigued by this one. So It Lasts Forever and Then It's Over is a book that I picked up because of Leah. I'll have her channel linked below. And she really likes like weird, unusual books, and this is one of her favourite books. I think it was of last year. The minute she spoke about it, I was like, okay, well I have to give this book a try. This is by Annie D. Markin, and this one is about somebody that's died. The main character we're following, I don't think she's named, is in the afterlife. She is adrift yet keenly aware, and she notes every bizarre detail of her new reality. I think it's going to be a really interesting book. I have really high hopes. I think I'm really going to love it. I haven't really heard anyone else talking about it though, so I'll be really intrigued to see what anyone else thinks, like if you've read this one or not. But if you are interested in my thoughts on this one, it will be coming to you on a Patreon exclusive video in the next 2 months. I'm giving myself March and April to read this one, so we'll see when I can get to it, but there will be an exclusive video for Patreon on this book. So that's the first book on the TBR. Now that's done, like I said, I do have other books that I want to read. I've got 3 books for my cozy new releases video, and I have the Discord book club pick. We do have a monthly book club over at Discord, which is free to join. I will have it linked below for you. So we've got all of that to add on, but we're going to see if I can add any of it into the TBR game. So I guess all that's left for me to say from this really chaotic intro, honestly all my other videos are so chill and relaxed. It comes to filming the TBR and something goes wrong, either the battery or my cat or just the game's really mean to me, or there's always something going on in these videos whenever I try to film it. It's crazy. Ignoring that though, I hope you're all doing amazingly well. Let me know what you're going to be reading for the month of March, and if you're taking part in any readathons. I'm not taking part in any readathons. I'm going to give myself a break. There might be one possibly that is coming up, but I'm not sure. There hasn't been an announcement video for it yet. If it does come up, I'll talk about it in a weekly reading vlog, but right now there's nothing that's been announced that I'm taking part in at the moment. But okay, right, I need to go change this battery and then we're gonna get to roll number 1. Wait a minute. I'm doing everything wrong. Before we change the battery and get to roll number 1, we need to choose a new prompt because we always leave off on 5 prompts and obviously we need to put it back up to 6, so I need to pull another prompt and then we can get to roll number 1. Honestly, I'm hoping that what this means is that all the chaos has come out in the intro of this video and the rest of it's going to be plain sailing. That's what we're hoping. We'll see if it happens. I honestly don't know. Okay, but let's go. I'm feeling in the middle-ish. Let's just go here. Ooh, a romance book. Oh, I know exactly what I'd read for that if it comes up. Okay, that's fine. Right, now let's go change the battery and then we'll come back and do roll number 1. Roll 1 for March. Ooh, purple. Oh my god, that is perfect. Purple, and we have a thriller. I was blessed because the first roll was perfect, absolutely perfect, because it was a thriller pick. And this month, the Discord book club pick is The God of the Woods, which I'm so excited about. This is by Liz Moore, and I have been so excited to read this book. Like, I'm not normally that excited to read a thriller, but I really cannot wait to read this book. I think it's going to be excellent. I have such high hopes for this book, and I know it has received some mixed reviews and it's a bit of a chunkier thriller book, but there is something about it that makes me think I'm going to adore this book. As I when it won for Discord, I was so excited. This one was also gifted to me by Denise, so thank you so much for that. So if you would like to take part in the Discord book club pick of reading The God of the Woods, then feel free. Again, it's all free to join. I'm so excited for this, and I'm so pleased it actually got onto the TBR game. It doesn't always happen where the monthly book club actually fits the game. So this was an amazing pick. I'm so happy. I will 100% take that messy intro if it means that I get this book, because this, I'm so excited for it. I haven't even told you what it's about. I do apologize. So this, we are following the Van Laars, and some say it's tragic and some say the Van Laars got everything they deserved. It's to do with their children. Their son went missing, and they never said thank you to the townsfolk who stayed out all night in the freezing forest trying to find their son who has gone missing in the hills. Some said there was a reason it took the family so long to call for help, and that they knew what happened to the boy. Now, 14 years later, their teenage daughter has gone missing in the same wilderness as her brother. Some say the two disappearances aren't connected, some say they are. It's very vague, but I'm really excited for this. Like, I genuinely think that this book has an opportunity to be on my top books of the year, like genuinely. Now this could go either one or two ways. Either I'm so hyped for it that it then doesn't meet the expectations because I've got too high an expectation, or it matches what I want perfectly. February was a really rough reading month for me. Like, it wasn't the easiest for me to get into books. Throughout the whole of February, all I wanted to do was actually start this book. Like, all I kept wanting to do was read the Discord book club picks, because we've got the next one chosen for April as well, and I'm so hyped about that one. So literally all I wanted to do throughout the month of February was read the February pick, then read March and April's, because they're perfect. I'm so excited for the books that are coming up. I think this is going to be an amazing year for the book club. I have high hopes. You'll have to let me know if you've read it, what you thought of it, if you're going to take part in the Discord book club with this one. But I think these two, I'm so happy with these picks. I'm really excited. So let's see what the next prompt is going to be. Well, technically not the next prompt, but the prompt to replace the thriller prompt. Let's see what it's going to be. Oh, I am a little bit all over the place. Like, I was out this morning, me and my partner, we went for lunch, and normally I like to film in the morning, not in the afternoon, but I've left it late to film this video, like late for me, because I'm starting my 7 days of working coming up. So I wanted to get this filmed so that over that time I can edit it around work. I don't like filming before work, unless of course it's like little vlog updates and things. I don't like doing these big videos. I like doing those on my days off, and I left it to the last minute to do this one. And then my partner was like, oh, should we go out for lunch? And I'm like, yes, but I also have things I need to... So everything, I think that's why I'm feeling like it's chaotic. Probably, hopefully for you, this is not chaotic at all, but just for me, I feels like everything's slightly out of whack. But the books are on point, so let's hope that stays. Okay, but I've waffled on for ages, so let's just choose a prompt, shall we? Let's go at the back this time. We have a non-fiction. Let's see what we get next. Roll number 2, pink. We've got a romance book. Let's have a look at the shelves. Okay, so looking at the shelves, the first thing I thought of was actually A Taste of Gold and Iron. This is a book that I picked up. Well, I've got it twice. I actually mentioned this in the book haul video recently, but I have it on Kindle, and I also picked up a physical copy because the bookseller really sold it to me, and I was like, I really need to read this. Kindle books I tend to forget about, so that is one option. I think I'm gonna love it. It's a bit chunkier, but I think because I've got it on Kindle as well, it's gonna be an easier read. However, we do have this shelf, which is like all my cozier books, and on here we have The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, which is a book I really want to read. We've got the next one in this series coming out soon. I think it's something about geography or something. So that's one that I'm very excited about and I do want to read. That was the one that I thought about when I first pulled that. I was like, ooh, but there is quite a few others. Like, there are series I could continue, because I've got this one, where it's a series that I could continue because I've got the first and third book on my Kindle, so I could do that. Oh, something else I should do is check the cozy new releases to see if any of those are romance. Okay, so I'm going to check the cozy new releases and then I'm going to let you decide, and it's either going to be between those three or between two of them and a cozy new releases book, and you can kind of decide what you think I should prioritize. Okay, so as we know, role number 2 was romance, and I did double check the cozy new releases, but none of those really have romance, or at least it's not the main part of the plot line. I'm really excited for the 3 that I've chosen for that video. I think it's a really nice mix, but that does mean we've got a couple to choose from my shelves, so I am going to leave the choice up to you. India Holton's The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. This one is like light academia and also a rivals to lovers story. We've got 2 rival ornithologists seeking one dangerous, beautiful bird. Is the hunt of their lives also how they find the love of their lives? I have been excited about it. Again, the second book of the series is coming out soon. Alternatively, we have another book that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that is A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland. And this is gay bodyguard romance. Prince Cadu, basically he made a mistake. He upset his sister the queen and he's trying to make amends, and part of making the amends is Cadu offers to investigate a break-in at the most important guild accompanied by his newest bodyguard, Evermare, who is handsome and flawlessly trained, and they uncover this really sinister plot. So I think this could have a lot going for it because we've got the intrigue, the court politics, we've got the romance. Like, I mean, I love these sort of books. Like, I know I'm going to really love this one, and I think this one's just going to be a cozy, light, fun read. So yeah, kind of make up your mind which one you think I should be reading. Honestly, I genuinely want to read both. I have zero preference between them. I expect both of them to be fantastic books that I end up recommending to you. This one was recommended to me by the bookseller because of how much I love Freya Marsh, and then India Holton is an author I've read one book from before, and the fact that this is like stepping into light academia, it's given me vibes of like Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and also A Letter to the Luminous Deep, but maybe not as slow burn as that. Both of these have potential to be books that I will talk about forever because of how much I'm going to love them. So just let me know in the comments below which one you think I should be reading for the month. Whatever one gets the most votes is the one that will be read for the month. I think this is really good. I'm really looking forward to this, so I'm interested to see what you're going to choose for me. Okay, right, I'm going to stop waffling about these 2 books. I'm really excited for them. Honestly, this TBR, I am so excited for it. Like, genuinely so hyped. Is it helping with my year goal of continuing series currently? No, not at all. But I'm fine with that because that's basically what February has been, is just continuing series. I'm excited for this TBR. Genuinely, it's going so well. I could have jinxed it with the amount of times I've said that. Oh, that one flew out at me. So we're going to say that is the chosen one. A cozy book. How perfect. How perfect. The third roll for March. Ooh. Oof. Okay. That's an additional roll. That's purple. We've got non-fiction. And then we have to do another roll. So we have to choose another prompt. Let's go here. Okay, this one. A previous TBR book and our first additional roll for the month. Really? Okay, we're getting all the additional rolls done now. So that's pink, which is a cozy book, and we have to do our last additional roll. Okay, roll number 3. That came out guns blazing. Let's just go this one. Season pick. And finally, the last roll for roll number 3. We've got Yellow, a translated book. Shall we have a look at the non-fiction TBR shelves and then see what we can do about the others? Okay, this is the bottom shelf. We're sat on the floor. It's also where I store my pumpkins until it's acceptable to put those out on display again, because I love pumpkins, and trust me, they're coming out probably late summer, because I love my pumpkins. Anyway, this is the non-fiction shelves. We have a mixture, like a few books I've already read from and a few I haven't. So I would like to do one I haven't read from. Now, I could be smart and do The Tao of Pooh, because it's only a short book and I have been thinking about it. But one that caught my eye as I sat down is actually this one, which is How to Think Like a Woman. We've got 4 women philosophers who taught men how to love the life of the mind. This is one I've been really intrigued by, and it's not one that I'll probably read for the whole month, like in the whole month I should say, but it's one that I could dip in and out of. So I feel like that is honestly what caught my eye as I sat down. Otherwise, maybe, I mean, I could start on some of my witchy books because I've got loads of them, but actually I'm really feeling this and I love this cover anyway, so yeah, okay, we're gonna go for that one. That was not what I was expecting to take from these shelves, but I'm really, really feeling this. Roll number 3 decided to properly punish us for how good the game was going, and we got 3 prompts in roll number 3, which, you know, I suppose poetically perfect, because 3 for 3, it makes sense. But right, okay, let's get into the prompts that I was given for this 3rd roll and the books that I have chosen. So the first prompt was nonfiction, and as you saw, I've decided to go with How to Think Like a Woman. This is by Readingearthnymph. I'm really excited to read this one because a lot of the time we aren't told about the female philosophers who have had such an impact. So in this one, Penula blends memoir, biography and criticism to tell the stories of Damaris Cudworth Masham, Mary Astell, Catherine Cockburn and Mary Wollstonecraft, weaving throughout an alternative history of philosophy as well as her own search for love and truth. Funny, honest and spikily intelligent, this is a moving meditation on what philosophy could look like if women were treated equally. I think this is going to be a really interesting book. Like I mentioned, I don't think this is going to be one that I read the full thing inside 1 month. I think it's going to be one that I'm going to have to take my time with, but I am really intrigued by this one. Just on the contents pages alone, we've got A Woman Thinker, On the Prejudices of Philosophers, Discovery in the Margins, A Room of Her Own, Enlightenment, The Women Behind Men, Fits and Starts, The Demons of Doubt, Love and Loathing, Heroes, Into the Hands of Virginia Woolf, Bedtime Stories, My Animal Self, Monsters and Muses. So it sounds really good. The chapters are pretty short, so I feel like this is one where maybe like I'll tackle 1 chapter a week or something from this book. I have been wanting to read more non-fiction this year anyway. It's kind of like a goal of mine. I only read 1 last year, and then the year before that I read 4. So I would like to try and do 4 again this year, just because I am genuinely interested. I think you can learn so much from non-fiction books, and this is one that, yeah, I've had my eye on for a while. It was also gifted to me, again, by Denise, so thank you so much for that. I'm really pleased with this pick. Like, do I think I'm going to get all of it read this month? No, but I'm also fine with taking my time with it, dipping in and out, and just seeing what I can gather from this one. I'm hoping it'll be a really impactful read, so yeah, looking forward to this. If you can hear loads of background noise, I do apologise. There's some like building work or something going on across the road. But okay, we've got the next prompt, which is a cozy book, which I am going to use one of the 3 cozy new releases that I'm going to be reading. The books for this, we've got 2 sci-fi and then 1 kind of like cozy fantasy. So the cozy fantasy is probably the one that I think I'm going to put for this prompt, is Guard in the Garden, is due out March 4th, and this is by Z.S. Diamante, a cozy fantasy book. We've got dwarves and things in this one. I'm excited to see what this one's about. Not one I've heard anyone talking about, but I really love the cover art of this one as well, and I don't know, something about it just sounds like it will be absolutely lovely, so I'm gonna give this a try. It's the first in the series. The next book is When the Moon Hits Your Eye, and this is the new John Scalzi book, which is going to be a fun sci-fi. I'm expecting it to be just a funny time. And then we've got Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite, and this is cozy sci-fi meets Miss Marple, which I'm very excited about. So I'll be reading all 3 of those in the month of March. The video for it will be coming out in April, but I'm really excited about this selection of cozy books. So I will be using Guard in the Garden for the cozy book prompt, make it a little bit easier on myself because I'm reading it anyway. And then the very last prompt we got was a translated book, and I've decided to go for a modern classic, and it's this tiny little modern classic, and this one is Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector, and this is another book that I picked up because of Leah. Again, her channel will be linked below, but Clarice Lispector is one of her all-time favourite authors, and I've never read a Clarice Lispector book, so decided to give it a try, to pick it up, try it, see what I think. Again, this one was also gifted, so thank you. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. I don't really know what it's about, and it's so tiny, I don't actually want to know. And this one was translated from the Portuguese by Stefan Tobler. I'm really intrigued by this one. I haven't read a Portuguese book before. I'm really excited to see what I think, and yeah, I mean, I've heard fantastic things. I think this is like stream of consciousness. There's no like chapters or anything. It is only a short one. It's less than 100 pages, so this is an easy one that I can fit in for the month, and also reading a classic, making a dent in my classics TBR. A small dent, but a dent nonetheless. So these are the 3 books I will be reading for roll number 3. Wasn't expecting it to be quite that many, but that's fine. Again, like, this is a very mixed TBR for me, and so far I'm really, really pleased with it all. But it is time to replace the prompt and then go for roll number 4. We know that we can't have any more additional rolls, so that's nice. So we'll just see what prompts we get and go from there. Genuinely, if I'd sat down to think about the things that I want to read in March, would it have been these books? I mean, yes, for God in the Woods, but the others, no, that wouldn't have been on my radar at all. But that's kind of what I love about this TBR game, because it really does just mix up what I'm reading for the month. Go here. Continue a series. Time to roll. Roll number 4. Pink, a season pick. There is a problem with that. I will explain. Okay, no, there isn't a problem with this, because I was thinking a little bit ahead of myself, thinking to myself, well, this is for March, and March, well, spring starts, but I haven't filmed my spring TBR. But technically, spring doesn't start till the middle of March, and my spring TBR isn't coming out till the middle of March. Instead, we're going to go with the winter TBR. Mainly because I just don't know what's on my spring TBR yet. I haven't actually decided what I want to be on there. I'm going to go with the winter TBR because I have a couple of books that I haven't read. Honestly, I've actually read the majority of my winter TBR. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. I've got 3 that I haven't read. One I've decided I'm not going to read. It's a classic book. It's a bigger classic book. I'm not in the mood for it. The other 2, we've got The Prisoner's Throne and The Tale of Hilltop Farm. And honestly, I'm actually feeling The Prisoner's Throne because this is a book that recently was up for a poll over on my Patreon to decide what I should be reading next. And this one didn't win, but I was talking about it and how much I really want to read this book. Like, I know that I want to read this in winter. I know if it goes past winter, I'm not going to pick this up, and I don't want to wait a whole nother year before I read this book. Like, I just don't want to do that. And I recently read Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, and it really got me in the mood to read another book around fairy based on folklore, which Holly Black does. So I'm gonna go with this one because I've really been feeling it, and as long as I make sure it's in the first or second week of March, then I'm still technically reading it in the winter season, so it works. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm really excited about that, actually. I think it's gonna be great. So this is the second book in a duology that's like a spin-off to the Folk of the Air series, which is a trilogy. And in this spin-off series, we're following the first one, a character that we meet in the first series, but as a side character. And this second one is based on the main character Jude in the first trilogy, her brother. Oh, I'm really excited about this. I really liked the first book. I thought it was really well done. It was more of like a traveling story. I have heard that this one's different. It goes more political. It tries being a little bit more like the Folk of the Air trilogy than what the first book, The Stolen Heir, was like. I really enjoyed the Folk of the Air trilogy. I really enjoyed this, so I think I'm still gonna really like this one. I'm intrigued to see what actually happens, what I think of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with this one. I think it will be a nice, light, easy read as well, because, you know, young adult fantasy, it's not gonna take too much concentration. They're characters I know and love, and we're also working for Rainy's year-long reading challenge, which is a year-long bingo board, and this one can work for finishing a series, which is what I had planned for that when I first had this on my January TBR. This has been on so many TBRs. It's been on my winter TBR, it's been on my January TBR, and now we're putting it on the March TBR. We will get this book read. But yeah, so it works for that bingo board as well, which I'm really pleased with. What I thought was a problem is not a problem, and I am very, very happy with this choice. But that does mean we've only got one roll left to go now. So what is that prompt gonna be? I don't know. I feel like there isn't a prompt that I don't want. Let's see. I could regret that statement. Who knows? Go this one. Oh, okay. Yes, I could very much regret that statement. Oldest book on my TBR. I dread this prompt coming up every single time because I know exactly what book it is every time. And do you know how many TBRs my oldest book on my TBR has been on? So many. But at least I know what it'd be. Let's go and see what roll number 5 is going to give us. The final roll for March. What are we going to get? Yellow. Continue a series. There are so many to choose from. Okay, genuinely, I have so many series I could continue. We've got this series, the Wayfarer series. I could do that, but I've already got 2 cozy sci-fis on the cozy new releases, so I don't know whether a third one would be a little bit too much. But I also have Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning, but I feel like I need to reread the first one to continue. Like, I remember, actually, weirdly, quite a lot what happens in here, but I feel like, I don't know. Or we've got the Area X series, because I read Annihilation, I started reading Acceptance, but I wanted to read it as a physical book, not a Kindle book. Well, I was reading it on Libby. I could do this one, but again, I'm like, is that too much sci-fi in one go? I'm not sure. Other ones we could do is, I do have this one, which, oh man, there is no reason why I should not have finished this. This is Within the Century of Wings. It's the last book in the Marie Brennan series, well, the Lady Trent series. There is no reason why, except for the fact that I keep putting it off because I don't want the series to end. So I could do that one. We've got Empire of the Damned, which is now out in paperback, so I could read that to continue that series, but then I'd have to buy one, which I don't know if I want to buy it just yet. I might do. Nothing there. We do have Relight My Fire, which is a book I got recently, which would get me up to date in this series, which is like a paranormal mystery series that I do like. But out of all of it, the one that I'm honestly thinking the one I should read is this one. Okay, let's just do it. We're gonna finally do it. Okay, so the last prompt is continue a series, and as I mentioned, I have so many freaking series I could continue. Honestly, it's kind of a joke at this point because there are so many. Like I said, I was going through, we had a few, but the smartest thing would be to finish a series, and this is a book I've been putting off for far too long. So it's Within the Sanctuary of Wings. It's part of the Lady Trent series by Marie Brennan. It's the last one in this arc. There is technically a 6th book, but it doesn't follow Lady Trent, it follows Lady Trent's granddaughter or something. So while I am interested in reading that book, I don't see it as part of the main series. I see it as kind of like what Holly Black's done, like a spin-off from the series. And I have other series by Marie Brennan that are sitting on my shelves waiting to be read. So finishing up this series, a series that I started ages ago, I am so happy with myself that I got quite a few people reading this one that have read it, adored it, and they've all finished the series, and I'm still there like, yay, I'll get to it eventually, and never actually reading it. Like, I know I'm gonna love this, but I know it's a bittersweet moment of like, it's gonna be over, which is silly. I own all the books, I can reread it whenever the hell I want, but I'm still like, but it's gonna be over. I love this series though. For those of you that don't know, the Lady Trent series, we are following Lady Trent, and she is writing her memoirs from when she was very young and first interested in dragons. However, the society that we're set in is kind of like Victorian, Edwardian time period where women aren't allowed to do certain things because it's not womanly. And you know, they're meant to look after the house and raise children and all of this stuff. Lady Trent is like, hell no. Hell to the no. I want more than that. And thankfully, she is able to go off on an expedition, originally as an artist rather than a scientist, because women are not meant to be scientists in this, especially not to do with dragons, but she's allowed to go as an artist. And what I love is that in these books you do get artwork that Lady Trent does. It's gorgeous. I love this for it. Like, genuinely, the artwork is stunning. She joins as an artist and then the series progresses. Each book you're following different places, different dragons, and there's like this overarching plot line that starts coming to fruition from the 2nd book. I would say the 1st book is the intro book. It sets everything up. You've got a little bit from there from the plot, but not loads. And then from the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, it's all building, but each book is still looking at a different area of the world, a different group of dragons, different things that Lady Trent has to overcome, and this will be the conclusion to her story. I think I'm gonna love it. I think I'm genuinely going to absolutely love this book. It's time. It is time to finish out this series. Like, every so often I think about what books would I recommend to people if they really want to get to know me as a reader, and a lot of the time it's things like this. So it would be this series. It would also be Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, because it's shaped so much. And then there would be the darker ones added in, like You Let Me In and Interview with a Vampire. I really need to do a video like that. I did do a favourites video a little while last year. This time last year. That is true, like they are some of my absolute favourite books, but books that have shaped me as a reader, I feel like that's a different list. Some of it's a different list. Tangent aside, it is time to read this book. Like, genuinely, I'm excited for it and I'm so sad, which is so silly because I own it. I know I can reread it, but it feels like the end of an era. Like, I'm more emotional about reading this than I was about reading Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, because that wrapped up the Emily Wilde series. Genuinely, what is wrong with me? I don't know, but oh, this is gonna be such a bittersweet moment, but I think I'm gonna adore it, so it's worth it. Okay, with that being said, time to go over all the books I'm going to be reading in the month of March, because I was about to say, oh, I need to talk about the books that I'm going to be reading that didn't fit on the TBR, but I already mentioned them because it is just those 2 new cozy releases that didn't fit on, which are the sci-fi ones, which I'm very excited about. Editing Kirsten popping in here to say that there is a book that I forgot to mention that I am going to be reading in March because it's been voted on in Patreon, a reading vlog that is dedicated to the new Hunger Games book that's coming out, which is Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm looking forward to this book. I'm kind of intrigued to see what I think, how it's going to go, but it has been voted on and the majority said yes, we want a dedicated reading vlog for that, so that's a whole extra book going onto this TBR as well. Am I going to get everything read this month? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out, but now we can get back to what I'm about to say about talking about all the books I'm going to be reading in the month, but including Sunrise on the Reaping. Let's go through, no, it's there. Let's go through the books. Starting off with Within the Sanctuary of Wings, the last book in the Lady Trent series, and this is for continuing a series. We then have Aqua Viva by Clarice Lispector, and this is for a translated work. It is a little Portuguese modern classic. I'm very excited about it. For non-fiction, I'm reading How to Think Like a Woman by Regan Panula. Again, not what I was expecting to read, but something that I think is going to be a really poignant read as well. I think I'm going to get a lot from it. For my season TBR, I'm going to be reading The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. Again, finishing another series. Honestly, this is going to be great. Getting 2 books onto Rainy's bingo board challenge for the year and also finishing series, we're on a roll. That's good. Then we have The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, and this is for a thriller book and it's also the Discord book club pick for the month, so if you'd like to take part then feel free to do so. We also have the book for you to choose for the month, which is for romance. So we have either The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love or A Taste of Gold and Iron. Both of those I'm very excited about. Both more fantasy romance lean in. On top of this, we do have the ebook of Guard in the Garden, which is going to be for a cozy book, as well as the 2 other cozy sci-fi books that I'm reading for the month. And last but not least, we have the Patreon jar pick, which is It Lasts Forever and Then It's Over by Anne DeMarcan. And this is a book that hopefully I'll be reading in March. I may end up reading in April. I have given myself 2 months to get to this one, depending on how the reading goes for the month, but there we are. On top of this, I do actually have another book that I'm going to be reading in March, which is a Miss Marple book that I don't own just yet. It's going to be $4.50 from Paddington, and that is for the exclusive Patreon video for March. They're getting a whole exclusive video on that book. Very excited to do it. These are all the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of March. You'll have to let me know, have you read any of these? Do you want to read any of them? And again, don't forget to vote between the romance books on which one I should be reading for the month. This is such an eclectic mix, like genuinely such a weird mix of books, but I'm so happy with this. Like, I'm genuinely so excited to have such a mixed bag of books to be reading for the month. I think this is going to be a really strong reading month. I'm very, very excited about these. And thank you all so much for watching and for voting and everything. Like, truly, I appreciate all of you so much, and an extra special thank you to my Patreons. I'm so thankful and grateful and still in shock that people want to support me over there on Patreon, and as I've mentioned it quite a lot, if you are interested in stuff, it is all linked below. Lots of different things that we do over there, but yeah, thank you for making it this far into the video, for watching. If you've made it this far but you just don't know what to comment, then leave a tree emoji in the comments below. And again, a massive thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate it, because it really helps this channel out. My social media links, anyone I've mentioned, plus my Patreon, will all be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.